Hello, I'm Sean Wasserman, Simulation Editor at Engineering.com. Welcome to the webinar, Using the SolidWorks Ecosystem to Streamline Product Development. On the line with me is Mike Sabocek, Technical Manager at SolidWorks. If you have any questions for him, please ask them in the chat and we'll get to them during the Q&A. So let's start this off with a little poll. So please indicate which 3D CAD application you're using today. Inventor, Solid Edge, Creo, NX, or maybe something else. Just going to keep this up for a couple more seconds. Okay. So it looks like a lot of people are using something else, about 45%. We got about 14% on NX, 18% on Creo or Pro E, 9% on Solid Edge, and 14% on Inventor. Okay. So Mike, with that, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Sean, and welcome everybody to our webinar today on using SolidWorks ecosystem to streamline your product development. And so let's get right into things. SolidWorks was started with the vision of putting the power of 3D solid modeling on every engineer's desktop. And SolidWorks was originally founded in 1993, and so 22 years later and 24 releases of SolidWorks later, the mission to empower engineers with tools to make great design happen continues. From creating initial concepts and validation to collaborating across teams and fast-tracking designs to manufacturing, SolidWorks is committed to providing you with the tools to engineer the world's best products. I'd like to introduce you to a few customers that have streamlined their design and engineering processes with SolidWorks ecosystem. The first is Big Belly Solar. You may have seen Big Belly trash compactors in the city where you live. Would you believe that these are internet-connected devices that can alert the trash hauler when the compactor is full and needs to be emptied? They're also solar-powered, so they save energy and they have a very low carbon emission rate. Selecting an efficient 3D CAD platform for the Big Belly system was an important consideration for this startup company in order to build and satisfy the needs of a new market. The benefits they realized are, first, they developed the first world solar-powered trash compactor, and they were able to increase sales 300% following a product redesign. They cut material costs by 30% by using fewer less steel parts, and they improved design quality and control along the way. Now here's another example. Tire CAD Industries. They're a Canadian forestry equipment manufacturer. The company has established a leadership position in its market by developing premium quality, heavy-duty off-road equipment used by logging professionals. Now their challenge was to accelerate product development and reduce documentation costs while encouraging design, collaboration, and reuse. So the benefits they realized from SolidWorks are improved engineering speed and flexibility, increased design collaboration and access, eliminated costly paper documentation, and lastly, standardized their workflow to become more efficient. And then lastly, we have Wolverine Worldwide. You might be wearing a pair of their shoes right now because they manufacture a dozen footwear brands, including Hush Puppies and Merrell and Wolverine. They've been doing business in over 190 countries and have various footwear categories. Now, their challenge was to accelerate and expand product development while simultaneously increasing innovation and controlling costs. So by implementing SolidWorks, they realized that they were able to shorten the design cycles by 60%, cut development costs by 50%, reduced material usage by 50%, and expanded the product line by 200%. So those are pretty significant savings that each one of these companies have realized because of their implementation of the SolidWorks ecosystem. So let's talk a little bit more about what makes the SolidWorks ecosystem, and we're going to be using this roadmap here today to describe that. So our customers have been telling us a compelling story about how SolidWorks has impacted their business, as we've just seen with the three companies that I showed you. We're going to be presenting today the inefficiencies of a CAD tool versus a highly productive ecosystem comprised of a set of integrated applications, or apps as I call them, and why you should be using them. This is the roadmap, as I said, and we'll describe why a truly integrated system is more than just software apps working together. It's the benefits you realize when you're working with the leader of the CAD market space, having the largest design community in the world to interact with, and partnering with the best resellers network in the world. When you purchase CAD, you may purchase it once, but you pay for it every day. All right. So when you purchase a new CAD tool, you're expecting a return on an investment through increased productivity, elimination of errors, and a seamless handoff of data between engineering principles. But when you use a non-integrated set of apps, you have to do more work, and the chance for error is greater, which will lessen your return on investment. So does your current CAD tool get in the way of your creative process and fight you to get things done? When working with your current CAD tool, do you find yourself doing trial and error what-if scenarios trying to get something right? If so, at that point, you're not productive by finding a way around inadequacies of the software that you're using in order to get the job completed. And if you consider the burn rate of an engineer, this becomes very expensive and the ROI is again lessened. So consider the designers of the Comaneros Bridge, and I'm sure everybody's pretty familiar with that story. The thing is, at the time, they didn't have CFD capabilities. They didn't consider that the wind could start the bridge's swaying motion that eventually ripped it apart and caused it to collapse. Pretty catastrophic. Now, when errors do crop up in your software, which they inevitably do, does your software provide meaningful explanations on what the problem is, or do you have to figure that out yourself? Again, if you have to start figuring out what's wrong with no clues, then you're unproductive, and your software isn't capable of helping you at that point. There are specific tools in your software to help debug modeling errors, or sketch errors, or assembly-made errors. If not, then your software wasn't developed with you in mind. As our designs become more and more complex, your software must be able to help debug the errors that inevitably happen. If you have to figure out what's wrong, then your experience with the software turns from good to bad and you become frustrated. Again, the ROI is diminished to the point where the software is costing you time and money. Now, Solidworks will show you what's wrong, but it'll also help correct the error by using the feature expert capability. Do you still use 2D CAD tools to start your concept process? Knowing full well that you'll just have to do it over again in 3D. And that's just the experience you'll have with non-integrated CAD tools, which force you to redo things because of their inability to reuse data. Now with Solidworks, all the data is written to the same file, and data sharing is easy. The Solidworks ecosystem provides a suite of fully integrated apps, as I had said. All the apps run in the same Solidworks interface, which is very important for the learning curve aspects. You'll never leave Solidworks to perform simulation studies, or to manage data, or to perform CFD studies using Flowworks, or plastics flow analysis using our plastics tool. Customers tell us that Solidworks is not, a CAD tool, but a design system or an innovation platform. The integrated apps help people innovate with freedom by removing the so-called CAD overhead of traditional CAD tools by using that common interface, having powerful capabilities that work, and leveraging design in many different ways throughout the enterprise and keeping everybody up to date through collaborative knowledge and data sharing. Here we see all the apps within the Solidworks ecosystem. So on the left side, we have the creation tools like SolidWorks Premium, the 3D experience applications for concept design, which is industrial designer and conceptual designer. The electrical apps for schematic design and 3D routing. And as we move to the right, there are design validation apps and data management apps and collaborative apps for data sharing. And again, all the data is moving seamlessly from one app to another without any loss of data within this ecosystem. The most important step in the product development process is the concept phase. If we get the concepts, down right, then we're going to have further success as we move downstream. At this concept stage, many ideas are generated and considered. Decisions at this step compound themselves throughout the rest of the development process, so we must get them right here at the first time. Now, the problem here is that most tools used at this step do not integrate well into downstream development processes. They could be sketches on a piece of paper. They could be other types of sketching tools that really don't integrate well with CAD tools. A lot of things are going on here. Using the 3D Experience apps of Industrial Designer, for instance, we can explore many concepts and can be captured and move them forward. So conceptual apps can be, for instance, capture freehand sketches and create 3D organic shapes extremely easily using the sub-D modeling capabilities. And then easily hand off all of that to Solidworks to finalize the design for manufacturing. Now, in 2014, Solidworks was focused on the core of design and engineering tasks, as we see here shown in red. So the integrated electrical and mechanical designs and design validation and technical communications with Solidworks Composer. Now, just 2 releases later, so now we're in 2016, we've expanded our reach into concept design, which is on the left side. So again, with Conceptual Designer and Industrial Designer. We've added electrical design capabilities and expanded those capabilities now with SolidWorks PCB. We've expanded design data into quality assurance with our SolidWorks inspection tool, and streamlined the manufacturing processes with model-based definition and product manufacturing information capabilities that we've added recently. So what is our approach to a process perspective? Well, that's to streamline it, as I said earlier. Streamline the engineering and design processes to work in parallel instead of serial. That is why we want to use integrated apps, so data reuse moves the design forward constantly. We never have to go back and do over. We're always using the same data and building upon it. So why? Well, obviously to make better business decisions earlier, to reduce time and cost, but in the same token, increase quality. And then lastly, create better designs through a lot more innovation. We have many ways to use the ecosystem to automatically collaborate and communicate with internal and external stakeholders. SolidWorks is connected to the 3D Experience platform, so we can easily collaborate with our customers and suppliers and other team members around the world or just across the aisle. First off, PDM Professional provides automatic notifications when documents are transitioned from one state to another within the vault. You can also automate the generation of documents such as PDFs or Excel spreadsheets, or hand off data to ERP, MRP systems as required. Now, using our new Web 2 capabilities, a customer can interact with the PDM Professional Vault using anything, anywhere. As we see here, we're using a smartphone to log into the Vault and to work within the Vault, to review, to move things forward and into the workflow. And so this now allows us to have the capability of communicating with our design team in real time, and everybody gets to see any changes that happen immediately. And lastly, this is my 3D Experience dashboard that I'm showing you here. And again, I can connect with SolidWorks, or I can connect with the 3D Experience apps. But here, more importantly, I can connect with the design team, and all the data, all the conversations, each design iteration are all captured here for everybody to see and use. So we don't have to rely upon emails which get scattered about, or some people don't get included in distributions, or you missed an important phone call because of other requirements. But with here, within the 3D Experience dashboard, everything is completely captured. So all of the decision-making history is captured in this one place for everybody to see and to understand. Real-time parallel design and engineering tasks are required in order to meet those short design cycles, thus helping to get to market before your competitors do. The virtual prototypes we design can be studied in a number of ways in order to reduce costs, improve quality and reliability, and get optimized well before manufacturing. In order to do these things efficiently, a common user interface is required. Now here is another customer of SolidWorks. This is Rethink Robotics, and you may have seen their Baxter robot, and maybe in your place of manufacture, or maybe on the SolidWorks website. And they're located in Boston, Massachusetts. But we can see here all of the applications that they use in order to design and engineer the Baxter robot. So everything from assembly documentation created with SolidWorks Composer to maybe flattening surfaces in order to be able to get a blank for a decal that is actually applied to a doubly curved surface. Or we can go use our data management tool, so PDM Professional, to capture and to manage all of the data that gets created in order to manufacture Baxter the robot. So there are a lot of stakeholders here, as you can see, and the thing is, they're all using the same data to get their jobs done. When we look at the user interface of SolidWorks, we see it's clear and concise. Here we're looking at the plastics flow analysis using Plastics Premium. Now, plastics flow analysis was added to SolidWorks when we acquired Simpo Flow Simulation a couple of years ago. Now, in that time, Simpo was completely integrated in the same interface as SolidWorks. Now, the important thing here is an integrated app allows me to learn one interface and then augment that with learning just the specific tools needed to complete any other design task. So all of the power of SolidWorks is at my fingertips. In this case, after running the plastics flow analysis, the results indicate a thicker wall is required. So this parametric change is easily accomplished by feature defining the wall thickness and then coming right back here and rerunning the plastics flow analysis. So I don't have to leave the interface, go to another interface, do my work, come back here to SolidWorks, do some change, export out. So as you can see, there's a lot of steps that we eliminate here by using this common interface. So just to recap here on the integrated system, so we want to eliminate errors and extra steps in the design process by using the same data to serve many, many other purposes that are downstream or upstream even. We need to tackle tough problems early in the design process because the power of the integrated apps allows for smoother collaboration between engineering disciplines. Collaborate with the whole design team in real time no matter where the members are so everyone is updated in real time. And then lastly, using a CAD system that's not easy to use or has deficient functionality is not fun, and it also inhibits your creativity. You need a system which is easy to use, fast to learn, and fun to use. Now moving on, let's talk about SolidWorks' position within the CAD industry. Now the SolidWorks ecosystem took 20 years to build, and along the way, design and engineering has changed, and SolidWorks is instrumental in making that happen. Many innovative products that save lives and make them better have been designed using SolidWorks ecosystem. The emotional paycheck for us here at SolidWorks is used because of some of the very, very inspiring products that have been developed over the years. So you might be asking yourself, what does a leadership position have to do with product development? Well, being the leader provides us with a different vision and a set of priorities on how to change and improve the product development process. It is incumbent upon SolidWorks to continue to develop faster and easier methods to capture ideas and develop those ideas into a product. We can make the necessary investments in the development of SolidWorks in order to satisfy our customers' wants and needs far into the future. At SolidWorks, we have one thing and one thing only that we're focused on, and that's design and engineering. And we don't have a plethora of other non-design or engineering related products which siphon off resources. We have one focus and passion, and that's for the SolidWorks ecosystem. We pride ourselves on making difficult tasks easy to do. From creating organic geometry to very, very complex assembly, SolidWorks has the power and ease of use to make those tasks easy, thus allowing you to focus on designing and not operating your CAD tool. SolidWorks was an innovator from day one and holds many patents related to unique functionality now found elsewhere. Well, there's one exception. The feature manager design tree was, first off, one of our first patents awarded. And as many of you know, other 3D CAD tools have a variation of that same feature manager design tree. Now, we will continue to innovate, and we will not stop because our customers expect us to deliver on their investment in SolidWorks. As you can see here, SolidWorks is just about in every industry you can possibly think of. By being able to focus on design, our customers tell us SolidWorks has brought fun back into the design and engineering process. Because of the ease of use and power of SolidWorks, designing is fun without the hassle of a non-integrated design and engineering tool. We will not lose sight of the position SolidWorks has within our customer base, and we will do everything we can to maximize their return on investment that they've made in SolidWorks. So as you can see here, SolidWorks has been awarded 30 patents for its unique technology, such as the Feature Manager Design Tree, which I mentioned, e-drawings, which maybe many of you have received from other folks, or our SolidWorks Intelligent Feature Technology, which is capable of understanding a design requirement and helping you achieve it. And there are many, many more other unique patents and features that we have been implemented into SolidWorks. They say imitation is the greatest form of flattery. Well, many SolidWorks features are copied by other CAD providers, and this chart indicates kind of how far behind two of our other CAD vendors are with copycat features. As an example, one feature was introduced in one of those tools 9 years after it was initially implemented in SolidWorks. Now, we can go back many releases and count up all the new enhancements made to SolidWorks, and you would find that there are thousands of them. Historically, there are, on average, 200 enhancements in each new release of SolidWorks. So this is how we help our customers become more and more productive and provide them with functionality that enhances their design and engineering tasks. At SolidWorks, our customers drive what we do. And that's the way we've done things since day one. Our founder, John Hirschdick, instilled in all SolidWorks employees that the customer comes first and we treat them with dignity and respect, nothing less. Now, this is proven by the annual SolidWorks World Top 10 list. This list is what our customers are asking for, and we have implemented 90% of that list annually. Without the voice of the customer telling us what we need to do, we would add functions that have little or no value for our customers. Thus, their ROI in SolidWorks would not be realized. We are proactive when it comes to asking what the customer wants. Our product definition managers regularly visit customers, and in fact, they have a mandate to do so. They ask directly, what about SolidWorks disappoints you, frustrates you, or doesn't help you get your job done? We all know SolidWorks does great things, but it's the things that it doesn't do so well is something that we want to do something about. We provide our customers an early look at the next release with alpha software. So the customers can do testing and figure out how best to take advantage of new functionality. And they probably provided that feedback on that new functionality, so that I'm sure they're eager to start to use it. And then SolidWorks surveys our customers annually to find out how satisfied they are with the software, with the company, and with their reseller. Each year, we have improved our satisfaction rating by working hard on what our customers have told us. And we will continue to do this, and we will not relent. Our focus on design and engineering allowed us to rise to a leadership position. This benefits our customers through the continued development of the SolidWorks ecosystem. Continued innovation provides our customers an ROI on their productivity. And we continue to bring unique functionality to bear on ever more complex design and engineering tasks that our customers are embarking upon. Our customers tell us directly what's important to them, and we listen. It takes a leader to understand the customers the reason we do what we do. And SolidWorks is used by thousands of our customers to design and engineer their products, which is the lifeblood of their business. Doing anything to impact their business, their products or their business in a negative way is keenly understood here at SolidWorks. Let's move on to the community and talk about the largest design community in the world. And our customers have created that design community. But we've also provided a focal point for them to gather, and that's mysolidworks.com. Last year, nearly 1 million SolidWorks users used mySolidworks to connect to the community, to find solutions to problems, and to learn something new. So here's the mysolidworks.com interface. And the things here that we can use are, first off, the forums. And these are especially helpful. This is where you can connect with the rest of the community to discuss your ideas, find recommendations, interact with SolidWorks product managers, express your views and concerns, and generally interact with the whole community. You'll also find hundreds of hours of training tutorials on specific topics for simulation, data management, modeling tips and tricks, and many, many others. The manufacturing network provides access to local manufacturers you might want to contact for your next project. The great thing here is that they're all using SolidWorks, so the handoff of data is smooth and easy. No more translations. Overall, mysolidworks.com is the place for all things SolidWorks. And in fact, you can register for mySolidWorks right now. You don't have to be a SolidWorks customer to start benefiting from its resources. Now, another area which we really differentiate ourselves within the design community, and that is the SolidWorks User Group Network, which is unparalleled in the industry. User groups are a valuable resource to all members of the community, and they provide the ability to network with peers and partners, which help your company become more productive. At the local level, you can find a SolidWorks user group. Since there are 185 of them scattered across North America, a user group is a great place to find and interact with like-minded people. There are no membership dues for the SolidWorks user groups. You don't have to show a membership card, or you just show up when you want to and get to know the other members. And another important part of the SolidWorks user group network is their sponsoring of technical summits, which they hold on a monthly basis around the US and Canada. Now, these are one-day training sessions and networking events where actually customers come in and present about the things that they do with SolidWorks and how they have used it to improve their productivity. Now, the absolute largest user group meeting in the world is SolidWorks World. Annually, we see about 5,000 attendees attending SolidWorks World. Now, at World, it's an educational and social event. So first off, there are over 225 technical sessions delivered by our reseller applications engineers. It could be a SolidWorks employee, but more importantly, it could be a customer also, which provide deeper insight into SolidWorks. Now, one of the most important things we do at SolidWorks is each morning we have the general sessions. And many of our SolidWorks customers have been on the main stage introducing the products that they have designed and engineered with SolidWorks. So everything from, say, fun little drones to robots that look for earthquake victims to the most inspiring prosthetic devices which make a person's life nearly normal. So all of these are extremely inspiring, and after you've seen these, you get a really good sense of exactly what the design community is all about here at SolidWorks. There are many resources available on the internet to help you design by providing, first off, how-to videos on YouTube or blogs, or access to 3D content via 3D Content Central. Now, if you go to YouTube and you just type in SolidWorks, you're probably going to get about 600,000 hits. Now, there are a lot of great tutorials here. So as you can see right there, there's one for a Coke bottle. So if you have an interest in modeling one of those, or doing a nut and bolt tutorial down below and how to create threads. So there's a lot of great resources here, just for the taking. If we go to Google and we type in SolidWorks blogs, we'll probably get about 1.6 million results. Now, that's an awful lot of reading, but again, it's just the point here is just the enormous amount of resources that are available for everybody to access quickly. And then lastly, 3D Content Central. Now, many of you folks may have used 3D Content Central to find an off-the-shelf component by many of the hundreds of suppliers that we have associated to 3D Content Central. And the other part of this too is that our users provide a number of models of everything that you could possibly think of, from fishing lures to little car models. So here is a great resource for everybody to use. It's a free resource. You just need to register for it and start to benefit from the uses of 3D Content Central. Now, we understand our leadership position requires us to take care of others who need our help. And the most important part of our community are the students that graduate yearly, the students that already know how to use SolidWorks, because they are going to become the next generation of designers and engineers. Another area which we like to give back to is our veterans. Now, here is Workshop for Warriors. Now, Workshop for Warriors helps our veterans learn new skills so that they can improve their way of life. And SolidWorks is a major sponsor of Workshop for Warriors. I encourage you to check out their website. I'm sure you'll be inspired by what they're doing there. Another way to pay back is our entrepreneurial program. So if you're a mover, a maker, an innovator, part of an incubator, SolidWorks can help you create a disruptive, groundbreaking product to help you build a business around your idea. We know that starting a business from the ground up can be tough. That's exactly where SolidWorks started out as. How do you conceive of and design a product, test it, prepare it for manufacturing, launch a business, all of that, all on a shoestring budget? Well, SolidWorks for Entrepreneurs will help take some of the legwork out of building your business by empowering you with the right tools and to expose you to new markets of passionate engineers and customers. Now, education, as I said, is the most important part of the community because of the students that are graduating yearly on an annual basis that already know how to use SolidWorks. So 2.5 million students on an annual basis that are graduating from middle schools, high schools, and colleges and universities around the world. If anybody knows about the CAE competition, the Formula CAE, 75% of the teams from the US and Japan are using SolidWorks to design and engineer their cars with. And we have our certified SolidWorks associate exams that we deliver 70,000 of those exams given around the world in 10 different languages. Now here's some important and very impressive numbers. 94% of the engineering schools here in the United States are using SolidWorks, and 84% of those engineering schools worldwide are using SolidWorks. So we know that our qualified students are going to be in a really good position when they graduate to get some of the best jobs at our commercial customers. Now we also support other areas such as STEM and FIRST Robotics competition. And for FIRST Robotics, we are a crown supplier, and we've been doing that for many years. And a lot of our SolidWorks employees are mentors for the FIRST Robotics competition because we feel it's fun, but it's also very, very important that the students learn how to use and take advantage of SolidWorks. So the community is the glue that binds the ecosystem together. So we have to show leadership within the community by providing a meeting place for everybody in the community to go to. So mysolidworks.com is that place to find knowledge, voice your opinion, and add your ideas. Bringing like-minded people together is another way of establishing leadership. Our user groups are a pride and joy that no other CAD company can boast about. You're working on a project and need help with something. Problem is, it's Sunday afternoon. No fear, you have Google, YouTube, and the forums on MySolidWorks to turn to for help. We must give back to the community to be seen and respected as a leader. We sponsor STEM programs for our young students, help our wounded veterans get back on their feet with new skills, and get new startups going and their exciting products to market without reducing their capital. And then lastly, our future has never looked brighter. There's exciting new apps being developed for the 3D Experience platform, to new and unique functionality for the SolidWorks desktop application we all know and love. Our customers will continue to benefit from SolidWorks ecosystem far into the future. Now, the last step here on our roadmap is our reseller network. And our reseller network here at SolidWorks is, bar none, the finest in the world. They provide our customers with the finest and brightest and most talented group of engineers to support, train, and enhance you and your business. Our resellers are focused on SolidWorks applications and related technologies like 3D printing. That's it. They don't get involved with any architectural applications, nor any geographical information systems, nor entertainment apps, or anything that kind of takes away from their focus of just focusing on SolidWorks. Our reseller applications engineers, sales reps, and even marketing employees are certified SolidWorks in the areas of technical support, applications training, sales engagement, and marketing activities. The A's have to go under rigorous certification exams for all SolidWorks applications to provide they are capable of supporting you with whatever arises. All of your training, support, and implementation requirements are provided by our resellers. The SolidWorks Technical Support Organization backs up our resellers, providing them with a higher level of experience and knowledge when certain problems cannot be solved by the reseller. Reseller is the main conduit between our customers and SolidWorks. They continually keep our customers updated on all things SolidWorks, and they will ask for special intervention for specific mission-critical software issues and help bring together the customer and SolidWorks when the situation warrants. So without our customers' success, we will not be successful. Our resellers take a vested interest in your success with SolidWorks because they are the ones that are really doing all of the hard work out there. So just to recap my portion of the presentation today, So as you just saw, the SolidWorks ecosystem is just more than a CAD tool. It's a set of integrated apps which help you get your design and engineering tasks accomplished without getting in the way of fighting with you. It's a leader that understands what's required in order to provide world-class design and engineering tools to satisfy Engineering 4.0 requirements. The community is comprised of passionate people, and this is seen at SolidWorks World, where over 5,000 people come together just because of the SolidWorks ecosystem. And then lastly, our resellers are the leaders within the community also. They are the foundation of the community, and without them, we would not have the largest design community in the world. And with that, Sean, I'm complete with my portion of the presentation today. We're going to check for questions.
Perfect. So yeah, the first question, let's go over here. What is model-based definition?
Model-based definition is something that's relatively new, but it isn't, right? And when I worked at Xerox back in the 80s, we were contemplating how we could use a 3D solid model to basically eliminate a 2D drawing. But at the time, we didn't have all of the functionality that we have today in order to be able to do that. So model-based definition is the ability to annotate a 3D model with the, what we'll say, the fit, form, and function definitions that you would apply to a 2D drawing. Now, the thing about model-based definition and annotating a 3D model is the fact that we do not have to define everything on the model itself, because why? We have the 3D model to access. So the 3D model can, provide the ability to create toolpaths from. But the one thing that we cannot convey without annotating is the critical aspects of that model. So for instance, any tolerances that are above and beyond, say, what we would consider title block tolerances, we would apply. We would apply datum definition. We would apply GD&T definition. The material may or may not already be defined, so we can apply that. We can apply specific notes to the 3D model. And really annotate the model in a way that would really replace the 2D drawing. So what that means to our customers is that they don't have to manage two documents, they manage one document. And this is being driven by, first off, the U.S. military. They have requirements and now standards for model-based definition. And it's also being driven from the automotive and aerospace industries. So what might be considered a niche requirement today will become a general requirement here in the near future.
Perfect. Is there any news on the draft site update?
Draft site gets updated on an annual basis, just as SolidWorks says, and I believe that there is a new version that has just recently been released. So you can go to draftsite.com and find out more information about that.
Why do we need SolidWorks simulation if I already have another in-depth simulation platform?
Can you repeat that, please, Sean? I just want to make sure I understood correctly.
Why would someone need SolidWorks simulation if they already have another in-depth simulation platform?
Well, you may or may not. Right? It depends on really what your simulation requirements are. Now, the benefit of using SolidWorks simulation, we have SolidWorks simulation, we have simulation professional and simulation premium, and capabilities are expanded as you go up to SolidWorks premium. Now, again, it's running in the same interface as SolidWorks. So, for instance, I do a simulation study, and my results tell me that the load that I'm applying to this sheet metal part is going to bend the part. So I have to do something in order for that to be for that to not happen. So I might have to increase the wall thickness, or I might have to introduce other features. Well, I could do that readily within the same interface because I've never left SolidWorks. So I can make the changes required, come back to simulation, and rerun the study without having to do any more setups. The SolidWorks simulation would recognize that the geometry changed, so thus it would go ahead and remesh the part. Once the remeshing is completed, it would go ahead and rerun the study again. So I can pretty much do these what-if scenarios very, very quickly, and this is really what we want to do, because we want to get to an optimized part that is going to be capable of performing the way that we want to. Now, if I have to use some external simulation tool, right, maybe it reads in SolidWorks files natively, maybe it doesn't. So I might have translation issues. Once I get it into the other simulation tool, I can set up my study and run it and do all that good stuff. Now I get results back and it says, well, you need to make a change. Well, now I got to go jump over to SolidWorks, make that change, export it back out, come back to my simulation tool, the external simulation tool, reset up the study because I'm not going to be able to update the geometry. Maybe I can, maybe I can't. And then I'd have to do a lot of extra work. So really, by using integrated apps, as I said, really reduces a lot of overhead that we would normally see with non-integrated apps. That's a good question.
Sorry, just going through them right now. Is the ability of many companies... Sorry, let me go for this one. Can SolidWorks do FEA? Can you just maybe elaborate a little bit on that with the simulation side?
Yeah, so finite element analysis is the same as simulation. There's no difference between the two. And yes, we do that.
Okay. Can you explain the connection between SolidWorks and the 3D Experience platform, and if you need it? Do you really need a 3D Experience?
If you have a concept design process currently, and if you took a really good close look at that process that you currently have as far as just doing concepts design, before we get to, say, formal design for manufacturing and production, at that concept stage, you're going to be churning through a lot of ideas. And you want to capture each one of those ideas. You don't want to throw them away, right? Because each one has some merit to it. Because if you go down the road a little ways, you kind of find out, well, geez, we took that idea and this idea. I think now maybe we have a really good working concept. So if you looked at your process, you looked at the tools that you're using, you might, like I said, using a piece of paper and a pencil. It's kind of hard to communicate that concept idea to other people. I'd have to scan it in PDF and email and go through all that rigmarole in order to kind of communicate to everybody else what my idea is about. So by using the 3D Experience platform and using Industrial Designer specifically, I now have the ability to do freehand sketching, and I can do this on a tablet. And that sketch is now captured within Industrial Designer. And I can use that sketch to build my 3D object from. And then I can take that 3D object and everything that I've done and put it up to the community within the 3D Experience platform, the community that I have created, a community that I have invited other team members to. And it could be internal and external members. And it could be a supplier, a customer also. And I'm able to gather up all of their feedback on that particular concept that I've just come up with. And I can also look back in time and see what the decision-making process was in order for us to get to a concept that we all agreed upon. Now, if you look at your current process, maybe you are using something with a tablet and you're sketching in it. Maybe it's Illustrator. Well, Illustrator doesn't, play well with other CAD tools. So we've got some disconnect there. Or if I am using that piece of paper and pencil, and again, how do I get that into my digital realm of my CAD tool? So then we also, on the communication side, we're relying upon email. And we send out these emails and we CC a bunch of people on them, and we forget one person. And that one person, kind of get left behind, and they got to get caught up. And some people reply to all, or some people reply back to the sender of the email. So again, other people are left out of the conversation. And these emails are scattered about everybody's desktops. And same thing with phone calls. We make a conference call, we don't make it, we get left out, we don't know what was said, things like that. So there's a lot of disconnects in the communication process. So again, by using the 3D Experience platform connected to our cloud, I can, again, post all that stuff up there, and everybody can come together and look at exactly what's been transpired and kind of get an idea of exactly where we've been and now where we're going. And then at the end of everything, once I have that concept, let's say agreed upon, then I can take all of the work that I've done within Industrial Designer and move it over to SolidWorks and then continue the design process there. I'm not redoing things over again, because if we looked at, say, a typical industrial designer's process, he'll start with a sketch, and then maybe he'll do some quick little 3D thing to do some renderings, but that quick little 3D thing can't be handed off to downstream applications like manufacturing. I'm not going to be able to put a tool path on it because it's a surface model, and all the surfaces have gaps, and it's not watertight, and I don't have a solid to work with. So there's a lot of, we'll say, roadblocks in the way by not using Industrial Designer that's on the 3D Experience platform. And oh, by the way, SolidWorks itself, the SolidWorks desktop, is connected to the 3D Experience platform, because we do have a connector, and all of the things that we do on the 3D Experience platform, as far as communicating is concerned, we can do that right within SolidWorks also.
Is the inability of many companies to give access to a 3D model at manufacturing or the prototype units without having an actual 2D drawing a barrier to the building of these products if they're just using 3D models?
Well, no, because we really haven't abandoned we'll say, document in that process of using model-based definition or product manufacturing information. So, for instance, if we annotate the model, now there's a lot of tools that are available, SolidWorks eDrawings being one of them, where I can view my 3D model and all the annotations. The other nice thing that we've done within SolidWorks is to provide the ability to capture what we call 3D views. So think of a drawing that you have, and you've got a front view, a right view, a top view, an ISO view, and detail views and section views. So we can mimic all of that with 3D views in the 3D model. So I can look at a front view and just the dimensions on a front view, right side view, top view, ISO view, whatever. All right. Once we have that all completed, if I need to communicate to other people, some people, maybe my machine shop down the road, and they don't have SolidWorks, but what I could do is publish a 3D PDF of everything that I've done as far as product or model-based definition. So within that 3D PDF, I will see all of the annotations. I will see each one of the 3D views, and I can click on each one of the views, and it will rotate or present that view to me in the graphics portal within the 3D PDF. So that, like I said, we haven't completely abandoned a document that we're going to rely upon either eDrawings to be able to communicate that model-based definition data, or we're going to use a 3D PDF to do the same thing.
Okay. Is SolidWorks compatible with micro CT image software such as Mimix? And also, can it convert 2D images to 3D touch meshes? The user has said that they tried doing this and they had some issues with it.
Well, I'm not familiar with that, with the products that you had mentioned there initially. I'd have to do a little research on that. But we do have some raster to vector capabilities built within SolidWorks. So, for instance, I can take something that's scanned and bring it into SolidWorks and place that on a reference plane and extract. It will actually vectorize. So, for instance, if it was a sketch of something, I could vectorize that and start off working with a sketch within SolidWorks without having to recreate that myself. I think that's what maybe they're alluding to, but like I said, I'm not familiar with the software that they mentioned, so I might be off base here a bit.
Understood.
If you could capture that customer's contact information, I can follow up with them after the fact.
So for the next question, what level of control over the mesh is available for SolidWorks?
Another good question. We have full control over the mesh within SolidWorks simulation. In fact, we have 3 different meshers that are available to us. We have a new mesher that we've added just to 2016 here. So, we've got, like I said, we have full control over that. So we have H-adaptive, P-adaptive meshing, which will actually do optimization of the mesh depending upon where the highest concentrations of stresses are. because we want the mesh refined in those locations so that our results are as accurate as we possibly can get them. So, like I said, we've got several ways of being able to create meshes, and in a number of different ways of being able to control mesh size.
Perfect. So you've talked a lot about the CAD and CAE options from SolidWorks and so. Could you talk maybe a little bit more about CAD, CAM software for SolidWorks, environments for Linux?
Sure. As far as CAM software is concerned, all of the major players within that realm work natively with SolidWorks files. So, for instance, MasterCam actually has an add-in that they bring into SolidWorks, so you're actually using MasterCam right within the same interface as SolidWorks. Now, we call that a gold solution partner. And our solution partners, we have solution partners and gold partners. So a gold partner has 3 specific requirements. A, it's certified by SolidWorks to run with SolidWorks. It has to run within the same interface as SolidWorks, and it has to write all the data to the same file as SolidWorks. So what we have there is a very, very unique situation where we have a third-party application that runs right within the same interface as SolidWorks. So now, again, depending upon what type of manufacturing or CAM software is required because of multi-axis milling, so there would be a number of different CAM vendors that you might turn to. You might turn to one for 3-axis because they're really good at that, or you might turn to another where multi-axis, say 5, 6, 7, or 8 axes, is really what they're good at. So the options are plentiful for the customer to go and pick and choose the exact CAM application that would suit their needs the best, knowing full well that they'd be able to work with SolidWorks data pretty much natively.
Does SolidWorks process 3D scan data into a 3D model?
Yes, it does. We have scan to 3D capability, which we've added a number of years ago to work with, I don't know if people are familiar with the Next Engine scanner. They were a partner of ours some years ago. And so we added the ability to import either point cloud or mesh data into SolidWorks, and then use the scan to 3D functionality to generate a surface model from either that point cloud or mesh data. And then once we have the surface model to work with, then we can use the surfacing tools within SolidWorks to work with those surfaces. So maybe we need to create additional patches, or we need to create, delete some of the surfaces and recreate them, so that we can get that to a solid state where all of the surfaces are stitched up and they're watertight. And in fact, I'm working with, actually currently, I'm working with some scan data that we did of a car body last year, and we're working through the process of creating a surface body out of that scan data.
So with the last release of SolidWorks, there was a lot of changes when it comes to the user interface. Can you maybe talk a little bit about that, and also what options people might have if they prefer the older one?
Okay, it's a good question to ask, because there's a bit of controversy with the interface for 2016, because we made a change to it. And this isn't the only change that we've made to the SolidWorks interface. We have made changes over the years to the interface to keep it updated, to keep it fresh looking, and to keep it efficient, because we really pride ourselves in trying to take steps out of the workflows that everybody has to do when we're working with SolidWorks. So if we could take out a mouse click here or a mouse click there, or even eliminate the ability or the need to even use the feature manager design tree, which is really where we're going with our interface these days, we continually do that. Now, the interface for 2016, as I said, a bit of controversy because we took the colors away. Now, we had 2 valid reasons for doing what we did in 2016. First off is 4K and 5K monitors that are coming out. In 2015 and prior releases, we were using older technology, in fact, technology that was pretty much developed on XP. Right? We needed to update that so that when we're starting to use the 4K, 5K monitors, SolidWorks interface doesn't look blurry. Because you know what happens when you, we'll say, blow up a JPEG image, what happens to it? It becomes kind of blurry, it becomes fuzzy. Well, that's exactly what was happening to the SolidWorks interface. Then the other valid reason was to satisfy our customers that are colorblind. Now, everybody's got a different kind of color blindness, and it's not uniform. Some people can see blue, some people see blue as green, some people see green as red. So there was a lot of different, we'll say, situations that we had to account for, and by removing some of the colors, we would be able to help out those people. But we got a lot of feedback from our customers, and again, this goes back to one of the points that I made in our slide. We listened to our customers. So with SP3 of 2016, the colors are going to be brought back, and our customers will have the option of using the new and improved interface that we have in 16, or they can switch back to the colored interface that we had in 2015. The option is going to be theirs.
Perfect. So I think that's all the time we have today. So I'd just like to thank you, Mike, for your presentation, and thanks to the audience for joining us today. If you came in late, don't worry. We will have this recorded, and the webinar will be shortly up on engineering.com. So please take care, and hope to see you all soon. Thanks, Mike. Have a good one.
Take care.
Bye, everyone.